Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Right. So, in the last class, we started the chapter living organisms and their surroundings. Right? In that, animals and plants they will have particular body design with certain body features. These specific body features help them to live in their specific surroundings. This point we have learnt. And the presence of the specific features or certain habits which make the plant or animal to live in their surroundings are known as adaptations. We have learned what is an adaptation. What is an adaptation? The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable the plant or animal to live in its surroundings is called adaptations. Okay, what is an adaptation? Presence of specific features or certain habits presence of specific features or certain habits which enable or make which enable or make a plant or animal to live in their surroundings. Presence of specific features or certain habits that enable a plant or animal to live in its surroundings is called adaptation. So, different animals or plants are adapted in a given surroundings based on their adaptations. Based on their adaptations. Right. So let us take adaptations of some desert animals and adaptations of some sea animals. If you take adaptations of camel, camel is known as ship of desert, right? And we all know that camel is having long legs. And in what way the long legs help the camel? When the legs are long, the body will be kept away from the ground. Camels, their regular habitat are living surrounding is desert. In desert, the ground that is filled with sand, it will be very hot during the daytime. So, as the camel's legs are long, the body is kept away from the heat of the sand. So, the long legs of the camel keep the body of the camel away from the heat of the sand. And in the desert, availability of water is low or less. So, camels may not be having good access of water. So, whatever the water that is present in the body of the camel, it should not be thrown out from the body in large quantities. So, camels, they release small amounts of urine. Release of urine is known as excretion. Release of urine is known as excretion. So, camels excrete small amount of urine and they ingest dry dung. In the case of buffaloes, if you see, their dung is wet, whereas camels, they ingest dry dung. And camels do not sweat, because in sweating also water will be lost. So, camels do not sweat. And camels can live for many days without water, because they lose very little water from their body. And whenever they are coming across water, they can drink large volumes of water at once, and they do not lose large volumes of water. They can drink large volumes of water. They lose very less amount of water. So they can live for many days without drinking water once after they drink water in large quantity. These are various adaptations of camel, right? So let me write the adaptations of camel.
Sir, we should write this in our notebook, sir.
If you want, you can write. So camels have long legs which keep the body of the camel away from the heat of the sand. They excrete or release low amount of urine, so that in urine water only will be lost. As they excrete or release low amount of urine, water will be saved. And they ingest dry dung. Adjust means release of the fecal matter is known as egestion, right? So they adjust dry dung and they do not sweat. In sweating also water will be lost. As they do not sweat, water will be saved. Right? And they can live for many days without drinking water. Next, coming to the adaptations of fishes. In last chapter only you have learnt about the body structure of fish. Fishes have streamlined body shape. The streamlined body shape helps them. Vidyavan, Harshi Vidyavan, stop presenting. Harshi Vidyavan, stop presenting. Thank you. The streamlined body shape helps them to move easily inside water. And the body of the fish is covered with many scales. These scales are slippery. The slippery scales that present on their body, they protect the fish and help them in their easy movement through water. The slippery scales protect the fish and protecting them from various physical, frictional forces. Scales, the slippery scales protect them from various physical forces, and these scales help the fishes in their easy movement through water.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Ask.
Sir, why some camels have one hump and some camels have two humps on their back, sir?
Very good question. It is only, see, in the body design of the camels, some of them they are having by birth like two humps, and some will be having one hump. There is no much specificity, like it is like a type of body design. It's not any specific thing. And many people think that in hump they store water, but it is wrong. They do not store any water in the hump. Regarding the hump, I will discuss about other facts once after I complete all the things, right? It is only a body design change. There is no specificity. Okay, right? Next, coming to fins and tail of the fish. Fins and tail of the fish. This is also we have discussed. Fins help they help in the balance of the body while the fish is moving, and tail help to change the direction of the movement in the fish body. And gills. Fishes, they can breathe in dissolved oxygen from water with the help of gills. So gills help the fishes to breathe in dissolved oxygen. So regarding fishes, what all points that can be discussed as adaptations of the fishes to live in water? First one is their streamlined body shape. Second one is their slippery scale. Third one is their fins and tail. And fourth one is gills. Right? So adaptations of fish. First one, streamlined body shape. For moving easily Totally 4 points are there. Adaptations of fishes. Streamlined body shape. It helps for moving easily through water. Slippery scales. They are for protection as well as for easy movement in the water. And fins, they are for balance. And tail to change the direction of movement. Gills to breathe in dissolved oxygen. Right. The surroundings in which a plant or animal lives comfortably, it is known as habitat. What is habitat? Habitat is the surroundings where the plant or animal lives. Do animals or plants, do they get any necessary things from their habitat? Or for what all necessary things do living organisms, that is do plants and animals, they depend on their habitat? For which all necessary things they depend on their habitat? For which all necessary things do plants and animals, they depend on their habitat? Organisms or plants and animals, they depend on their habitat for their food, for their water, for air, for shelter, and for certain other needs. So, if the habitat is not providing the food, water, air, shelter and other needs, then plant or animal will not live in that area. So, habitat is the living place or home for the organisms. There are different types of habitats in the nature, and every habitat it is shared by different types of plants and animals. Let us take the discussion of habitat now.
Sir, board is not clear, sir.
Now, okay, sir.
Is it clear now?
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, na? Right.
Sir, not okay, sir. It is not clear, sir.
Hope now it is clear.
Clear, sir.
Yes, is it clear now?
Clear, sir.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Huh? What?
Sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Now clear is the
Okay. So habitat is the surroundings where the organisms live in. Living organisms, they depend on their habitat for their food, water, air, shelter and for other needs. So habitat is the home for living organisms, right? And in this nature there are many habitats, and each habitat it is shared by different organisms, different plants and animals. And as I said, there are many different types of habitats. All these different types of habitats, they are broadly divided into two types: terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitats. Terrestrial habitats means the living surroundings which are found on the land, and aquatic habitats means the living surroundings which are found in water, right? And let us discuss about these habitats one by one. There are different types of habitats in this nature. All these different types of habitats are broadly divided into two types. There are two types of habitats. There are terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitats. Terrestrial habitats are the living surroundings that are found on land. Aquatic habitats are the living surroundings that are found in water. What is living surroundings? Nothing but habitat, right? And examples of terrestrial habitats are forests, mountains, deserts, grasslands, coastal regions, etc. Right? And aquatic habitats examples are ponds, lakes, rivers and oceans. And in every habitat, two components are present. In every habitat, there are two components or two components are present in every habitat. They are biotic component and abiotic component. Biotic component means plants, animals and other living organisms like bacteria, fungi, all these things, they make a biotic component. Abiotic component means the non-living things like rocks, soil, air, water, sunlight and heat. So if you take any type of habitat having biotic and abiotic component, that is the common phenomena of every habitat. So every habitat has two components in it. They are biotic component and abiotic component.